Oh. Take off my shoes. I want to get into it, man. So this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I'm your host. Eight Wind is timeless. I am the time tripper. It all started with a gentle sadness. I am the holder of the continuous ball game of the Hero Twins. I am your galactic daddy-o. I am sitting on my galactic patio. From Minnesota to the universe. We're pushing it all out. Come one, come all. We all have to ball. Rocky, what's happening? Derek, that's right, the Hero Twin. Strong discernment, what's happening? Thank you, Rocky. Kind words. Starfleet. I'd like to start out tonight. We be checking these mugs out, and these mugs just like, they really think we still go with the okie doke stuff. You know what they call people in Chicago that's kind of lame? They call them goofies. I mean, that's what we have going on. These people on different platforms are repeating that these people really done blasted something off and sent it to some other planet. They really got you in, what is it, Capricorn 13? They ain't blasted a thing off. That's a distraction. And you must give it to Sister Girl and Slow Joe. You got to give it to them. They didn't waste any time attacking Texas. They attacked New Orleans and Katrina, and they've constantly attacked Houston off and on. But this was the big attack. They've had weather warfare since the 50s. Not shortly, really too far after World War II. Zach breaks into this work, but what Zach Hubbard has shown is the first time they did a weather warfare on their own city in England is they flooded out a city and killed people because they couldn't control what they were doing. You watch the movie Forrest Gump. What does he say? Rain going that way, rain going on an angle, rain coming up from the ground. What they did is they seeded the cloud area there. Again, they do have monsoons, but they seeded the cloud area to try to flood out the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which they allowed. If you really wanted to eliminate that trail, you would constantly attacked it. They only attacked it really when Nixon was president, when he invaded in Laos, Cambodia. Those are the only times. So this is what this is. This is weather warfare. And as I've said the last two nights, don't be surprised if they say heat and water for guns. That is what they want to strive. Texas is the most heavily armed state on the planet. They fear Texas more than any other state. And that is why we see unprecedented temperatures. And the beast has to tell you what it's going to do. It doesn't just do, it tells you what it's going to do. What were they calling it? Dark winter. They don't say these spells without anything. They're spelling this. And I can't say it's been let up here. I mean, we are more prepared for this up here. Again, when those forecasts were about 2 weeks out, that's when the information should have been out to tell everybody run water for your pipes. I mean, when I lived in Greensboro, it never got to no below shit. I think about 20 above was the coldest it ever got. But at those temperatures, we told everybody. It was a thing. Even before the internet, it was things going out. They were sending stuff out on the news. Leave your water running. Leave your water running so your pipes don't bust. That didn't mean that everyone did it, but enough people did it. And again, I worked for the water department for 7 years. These were standard calls. We had to go turn the water off. We wouldn't fix it. That was on their property. Now, there were cases where city pipes bust. Not very often, but there were cases. We'd have to go out there and work. I fixed the water main during the damn hurricane. It was 82 or 83, whatever hurricane. It fucked South Carolina up, but we got part of it in Greensboro. I'm in a damn 6-foot damn hole. Hole's probably 10, 20, 10, 15 feet wide. I'm in a damn water main. Putting new pipe, fixing the main, and it's like going like hell. I'm in damn like fishing boots. You ever see them fly fish? I got all that kind of shit on. And I'm on damn in a muddy hole fixing this damn main. And so this is what the people have to understand. And again, people that's showing the long lines and stuff, that's communism. They had us doing that last spring. They still count. They still got places counting. I'll tell you what, you go out to the Mall of America, the place that gets the most heavily counted at the Mall of America and the other malls here is Elizabeth's Secret, right? Elizabeth's Secret, whatever that's called, the panties and lotion place and bras, whatever that's called. Right now, they make you put your hands in shit. And I didn't go in there, but I've been out to the Mall of America and they got a person in front. I think the Apple store closed at the Mall of America. I think it must be Samsung. Still, you know, they still counting people. Matter of fact, I think Samsung had armed people. They had armed people in front of the stores. Counting people, letting only a certain amount of people go in. They had security. And it was Samsung, maybe Best Buy. I don't quite remember. Oh, the one, thank you for joining me. Third seed Bucks versus 7th seed Warriors finals. The 3-7 seems to be the ritual. Brady went 7-3 in Super Bowl, and Bucks won their second Super Bowl. Rain, sleet, or snow, got to see the show. There you go. Thank you. How you think the summer going to be? That's a good question. And one thing that I wanted to do today is, and I didn't get a chance because I was moving so much and time was a factor all day to get everything done. They had the simulator out here today. And I hate I didn't get to do a film about it. By the time I got home, it's shift position. And where I live is just terrible for the sun in a lot of ways. But when I was in the open, it was clearly the simulator. No rays, just the ball. Just a ball, no rays. Now, one thing that you do, and even if you look at what their so-called telescopes, the sun always has something moving around it. Watch some of the so-called Nazis telescope, Nazis, NASA, whatever you want to call it. And you'll see there's stuff always moving with the sun. From even here, you can pick that up. There's something always going on with the sun that you'll pick up a type of motion. Simulators don't have that. As my nephew said, there's no rays from the simulator. The simulators are closer. And so I didn't get to share that. And please forgive me. Just wasn't in the position to share it. So here it's not, I mean, it's not warm here. We burn a hell of electricity for heat as well. Cars. I picked my daughter up at 3. I'm sitting out there at 2:20. So my car is running for about 35, 40 minutes. Not just mine, everybody's. I figure I might as well wait now instead of having to wait when school gets out when all the cars are there. Get there early and just be able to push up out of there. Ain't got to wait for 30, 40 cars. And it's efficient. It's not that it isn't. It's efficient. No matter when you get there, you're going to pick up your child. So we ain't had no slack cut up here. I mean, that minus 25 shit is real shit. Matter of fact, I wear this lurking hat everywhere now. And the first pump I went to fucked up. So I had to drive around and get to another pump. In the meantime, I'm back and forth from the store and it got cold being outside. So Draco, I live in Tennessee and we got the remnants of the Harp storm. Speaking of war, you gave me a warning about the live we did yesterday for medical misinformation. YouTube gave me a warning about the live we did yesterday for medical misinformation. Wow. Wow. Y'all got 2 inches. Damn. Yeah, we had about 2, 3 inches last night. Wow. Wow. Medical misinformation, huh? And I mean, that video's not new, but it catches them saying that. That video was about from a year ago. 2 guys in the original Woodstock movie were exposing weather warfare. Yeah, they did it on them. They did it on Woodstock. I mean, what you have to understand about Woodstock is Woodstock became with 600,000 people there at its peak when Sly Stone played, and then they didn't let Jimi Hendrix play. It became like the 7th or 8th biggest city overnight. And so they really thought they could stop it by causing the rain. And it put a hardship. I mean, they had to put a tarp over the entertainers. I think Santana is playing in the rain. Those of you who know Santana, Carlos Santana is. I think his performance is in the rain. Richie Haven might have played in the rain. Some cats had to play in the rain. Again, they robbed Jimi Hendrix because if Jimi Hendrix would have went after Sly Stone, a lot of minds would have opened up. Him playing the Star Spangled Banner in front of 600,000 people in New York would have woke a lot more minds up. That's why they stopped him. They are not hiding it. If people would put the clues together, stop being stubborn in their beliefs. Yeah, my mother was tripping on me tonight. She was like, Trump wanted to be a dictator. I'm like, how silly do you sound? How silly do you sound? Again, she don't like me calling Slow Joe because he is. He's not in charge. Just like the end of Woodrow Wilson, when he was running, he had dementia, Alzheimer's. After Reagan got shot, I'm trying to think, Bush was running the country. H. Bush was running the country when Reagan got shot. So H. Bush damn near had 3 terms. Because after they shot Reagan, he was never the same. You can catch many articles that telling you that mug was just, they would catch him wandering in the White House, lost and shit. Look that up about Reagan. After he got shot, it took a lot of that away from him. Now, can you compare Reagan to Trump? I don't think so. Reagan wasn't never cool with brothers. I mean, if you study who attacked the Panthers, it was Reagan. Reagan is the one that went to war with the Panthers. I mean, if people remember, when they marched on the Capitol and declared war, Reagan was governor then. Reagan ordered a lot of those Panther killings. Reagan had to have his hand in killing Bunchy Carter, and John Higgins. Being the governor, how wouldn't he? Then one of the killers got rewarded for Kwanzaa. One of the people that caused Bunchy Carter to die. Move, I think, was the name of the group. That cat created Kwanzaa. There's nothing about Bunchy Carter. Most people don't even know who he was. But you know that goofy ass Kwanzaa shit. Again, taking you away from the land, inventing some shit. And what does Sister Girl say? Sister Girl only a couple years younger than me. I didn't know nothing about Juneteenth. I didn't know nothing about Kwanzaa till I was a fucking old dude in my 30s. Know nothing about no fucking Juneteenth. And I went to a black college. Been a history lover all my life. Never heard of fucking Kwanzaa. Never heard of that Juneteenth shit. I heard of Juneteenth when I came here in the 90s. Know nothing about that shit. Definitely nothing about Kwanzaa until probably the 80s. Texas waters reported to be contaminated with parasites. Wow, Ziggy. They try to keep this HAARP weather going so when the reptilians come out of hiding, they can live here after depopulation. They like it nasty, though. They can't take the sun. They can take the simulator. Remember, the vampires created a way to be out in the sun. Remember, they tell you that. The vampires created a way to live out in the sun. Remember Blade. I don't mind living with reptilians as long as they don't eat me. Haha, Ziggy, that's funny. The one, you're not supposed to drink water right out of the faucet unless you have well water. City water has parasites and fluoride. So does most toothpaste. And fluoride, again, comes from some Nazi shit. It's some Russian shit as well. Russians and Nazis was the first to affect their people with fluoride. And they want to tell you that fluoride is helping clean your teeth. Did y'all know that? That's why fluoride is in the water. It's supposed to fight cavities. Did everybody know that? That is why fluoride is supposedly in our water. Your dentist says, do you want the fluoride treatment? So they can put more of that shit in your mouth. When you get your teeth clean, tell them hell no. Nobody cares about Kwanzaa. It's hilarious. But see, Sister Girl, that gets back to my point. Sister Girl is like, she's telling when her family celebrated Kwanzaa. So you telling me some people from Jamaica, a Jamaican daddy, and a mama from India, the dot India, not the feather India, the dot, that they celebrated Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa was what? Started in 66, 67, something, 70, somewhere in there. Somewhere between 66 and 70, somewhere in there. That shit's not that old. That move dude, Kalinga. I believe Kalinga was FBI informant. This is who gets credit for that shit. Bottled water is best if possible. Bottled water and shungite water. My biggest fear is getting into a fight with a reptilian and they start teleporting and shit. Yeah, that should be cool though. Yeah, if they start moving and they move with you, they in trouble. You want to do that ride. All you gotta do is pay attention. They move, you can move right with them. You can drink faucet water if you boil it, but I'll still risk it. Again, you can use shungite to fight tap water. You're going to have to, cycles are going to have to be longer, but that's what they recommend. They recommend using it for that shit. Again, you're going to have to they say generally let it sit for 2 days. I would say with tap water, let it sit for about maybe 3-4 days, but it's recommended that it can fight that shit. That's actually the recommended use. I use bottled water with it. And the way you can tell water, when you have good water, it has a very velvety almost taste. It's a smooth taste compared to tap water. Now, I'll say this, the water I have where I live here in Prior Lake, the Mississippi water in the city of Minneapolis actually tastes better. Had a better taste to me. This shit is horrible. That's why when I drink coffee with the shit, it gets boiled. You can drink for Vincent Jackson, they sacrificed for Tom Brady winning the next year. Yeah, CJ, he probably was. I wouldn't disagree with that. Yep. You made a video on, okay. Tom's toothpaste fluoride free just in case anyone needs to know everything is poison. There you go. There you go. Because Tom's got the black toothpaste that don't have fluoride. So that's why I was surprised to find Tom's with that shit with fluoride. Yep. You know, all the fluoride toothpaste to be at the dollar stores too. They give you like 20 pounds for $1 worth of toothpaste at the dollar store. You get one of them things of toothpaste look like a damn salmon. You coming out there like it's one of them old fashioned giant candy bars. The tube is so damn big. You ain't got to buy that toothpaste from the dollar store, but every other year or so. The shit's so much they give you. I use Tom's toothpaste too, strawberry flavors idea. I use the black shit. I use that shit that's black from Tom's. Fuck up my sink though. Tap water tastes different than bottled water. It does. But again, I've told you before, that wiggly shit be in plastic water too. That's one thing I've noticed is you take it out of the plastic and you pour it in some shit and you see them little wiggly things. It's I've described that shit before. It's like how you be seeing floaties in your eyes? It be some shit looking like this. It be some shit looking like that be in your water. Even in bottled water. The sugar guy pushes that shit to the top and then I take it out. But it be that shit looking just like that. Just like floaties you see in your eye. But if shit come out the water that the shungite pushes to the top, be looking like that. I'll be having to take that shit out. Well, it's time to break for a commercial. Tonight's commercial is Sierra Nevada Wonderland. It is 6.5 of dynamite, baby. We thank Sierra Nevada for making us funky. So drink them if you got them, smoke them if you want them. Let's pop that bottle. Well, Craig Fact saying she's on that Cristal. She's on that Cristal. Oh, here we go. I blow big stacks. Toast to the boogie. What's everybody talking about? For Mortal Kombat, I drink Kroger brand bottled water. Kroger's kind of a Midwest thing. I usually drop a lemon in it just to be sure. Yeah, I treat some water with lemon too. Actually, you can make some alkaline water with lemons or limes. Very true. With boiled water, yeah, I put lime in my water. Yeah, it makes it more alkaline. So we can teleport with reptilians. How couldn't you? If they're moving in it, why couldn't you move in it? Why couldn't you? Why couldn't we? If they try to get away with that shit, you could jump in that shit too. Movie show you can. It don't go away because it's them. It ain't tuned to them. They open some shit. It's open. Now, where you might go, you might not know the out to come back. I mean, that takes a little more work because really you could just do the opposite to come back. I know that's easier said than done, but that's you could do it. You could do it. But yeah, I mean, ain't no way they can take you that you couldn't coexist. But they like the reptilians like the nasty. They like the nasty waters. They like the nasty air. Again, when I talk about the troll under the bridge, it's one of their beings that lives in that shit, that wants to feed off. Again, the reason why we have the engines we have, they're right now people making cars with water again. They used to kill people that did that. They used to kill people that would make engines run by water. It would make more sense that the cars would run by water. Why wouldn't cars run by the biggest resources we have on this planet is water? Why would we make any machine that would need something else? And oil is unlimited as well. They lying about that shit. That shit's unlimited. It produces more and more of that shit all the time. Make sure bottled drinks have no BPA. Yeah, that's why where my daughter's mother works, they don't have any. Straight to Hades. Hi, Jay. The Queen is reptilian. What do you think, Timeless? Yeah, I mean that's pretty. That's why they call themselves blue bloods. That's what blue bloods means. You know, it means that they part of that line. Do you believe in Mars rover landed? Fuck no. That shit ain't land over there. That shit is the same shit they did in 1968, 69. It's the same lie. Sojourner. Why would they send Sojourner? You know, I mean, this is the same lie. Somebody been exposed. When they first sent the shit there, somebody been exposed where they was filming that shit. How long that shit's supposed to be up there? They've been exposed, that stuff. So it's lying. They do some firecrackers on TV and want you to think they got some shit over there. You don't have to have a machine to go. The Meter Mind needed a machine to come here. It needs a machine to move around the world or to move around the universe. It does want to go further and get up out of here because its time is running out. So it wants to build something that can get up out of here, but it can't escape because there's nothing on they can make, even itself, that can go faster than the speed of light. And it fears something like me that's the time walker that walks on light. So it's stuck. Because it knows if it wants people to go to these other planets, they just go. I mean, I was trying to do one chick that was she's about that shit, the aliens and shit. She had a cat talking on there, and the cat was saying the shit I be talking about. You want to go to a planet, you get to agreement with the planet. You do not need a ship to take weeks. What this dude said was real. He said we would go to these other planets and we would be back by dinner. Now, I know just from planet gazing and just getting a relationship with the planets I deal with, that you just need an invite, just a way that you can understand the reality. So it's show and tell. It's a distraction, though, really. It's a distraction. When they do shit like this, it's a distraction. Don't pay attention to people suffering. We've made a new achievement. I mean, look at the country. How could the country ever afford to pay NASA all the money they paid them? How? Over what? What did we get in the space program? Digital shit. That's what the common person pretty much got. Digital watches, digital stoves, digital shit. That's what came out of that shit. They learned how to sell shit that they supposedly was selling you, and it's digital. For a while, astronaut food. They had some shit that really didn't taste that bad, but it was supposed to be the food the astronauts had. You could buy it in the stores. I mean, people my age, a little slightly younger, probably remember that shit. Tang was some shit they said the astronauts was drinking that nasty ass fake lemonade in space. Tang. When that shit came out, that's where they said it came from. Tang, the astronauts drinking nasty ass Tang in space. Where do you get the name Time Walker? Was it a book? Yeah, CJ, I'll get it. I heard the Mars picture was in Arizona. Yeah, that was some crazy. They found some crazy shit on the moon. They don't want the public to see it. Plugs. Thank you for joining me. Ziggy got the juice. NASA is an illusion. There you go. Jay, NASA hoax. Yes, thank you. Abram, Velcro. If people believe there's a Tesla floating in space, they will believe they have anything. There you go. Freeze-dried shit and Tang. Yeah. Freeze-dried foods. Yep, freeze-dried. All that we got from NASA. Fucking Velcro. There you go. Astronaut ice cream. I mean, the Time Walking papers come from Meredith Quinn. Meredith Quinn was a Sioux brother. There's only one other person that really talks about it. Well, I'll say Turtle Gang mentions some of the facts in it, and there's a brother that Turtle Gang's cool with. He mentioned some facts with it, but it comes from Meredith Quinn, who was a Sioux brother called. That's where I get the saying "young elder." He was considered a young elder because the time walking information was given to him, and the time walking information goes all the way back to the information from the omens. And there's no escaping this. It goes back to the truly ancient information that was in the Americas. And I don't really need to get into what was first, but the matter is this information wasn't given anywhere else. Now, technology and the support was given to the Moors. You can look up the paperwork that says that when the old Roman Empire got defeated, they said it was some horses with fire coming out the shit. It's in papers you can look up in England if you want to find the reference. That's who truly was in charge of some of Spain. Again, they didn't have all, it's a lie to say that the Moors ran all of it. Wasn't. It was just pockets. But that's why I say I ally with the Moors, because we had to brought them back to America as well. And I haven't wavered from that. When you take some responsibilities, other responsibilities and allies come with the shit. Now, I am not a Moor. I know how to hold my square, but I am not a Moor. I don't push any of that. But when I find honest Moors, I think PNF is an honest Moor. I've found a lot of dirty Moors. So I fulfill my obligation by supporting the brother. I'm not asking anybody else to support him. That is on you. Use your discernment. I use my discernment. I don't believe in. I don't. A lot of the dogma I don't get into. But that's not the point. The point is they have an elder with the science. And the minds that want to listen, they can get it. They can get it. It's like anyone. I don't give it all out, but I give you enough out where you can tap into it. Remember they tell you this stuff. Remember the movie they show you with the hats and they going in the doors. Now, that is probably the most bizarre movie that was ever shown, because each door is considered like a czar movement. Remember the guy from New England? What is this? He's hollering at me. Okay, it was him. So that was that movie was a lot of the czar information, giving that information out. So we can go to space. I mean, I've given the practice where you can go see what's up there. You can leave your body and go straight up. I mean, that's one of the easiest things to do. And maybe I need to do another video, just the 10, 15 minutes it take to do that. Because I did it with a big show, and that's what I'll do. I'll just put that out. And you can go up there and see for yourself. Again, you can't really, you can't approach some of these planets because you would just be some dust. Keep that in mind. You're very limited. You're very limited. But going up there is very limited as well. I'll say that. It's limited. I mean, how do I want to say this? Okay, I guess I'll just stick with saying that the access is somewhat limited. I'll say that. Because again, you're looking at something so big that, again, you would just be dust. That's why you can really only use your wave harmonic and energy fragment is how you would move through it. Because that's just a person. You couldn't do it. You wouldn't have enough to push through it. What you're made out of is too heavy to push through all this. So yeah, you have those abilities. I mean, anything you can dream, you can damn near do. That's what the dreams is, to practice. You can practice in your dreams. It gives you a lot of those same feelings. You can go in some of them same doors. You can jump in this shit from your dreams. And we all have a dream screen. I'll go toe to toe with anybody about that. That's where they got TVs from. And that's how they knew TVs would sucker us in, because when you dream, it's a screen that pops up above your feet when you're laying in bed. You go to sleep, it comes. Now, a lot of beings can't fuck with that. Go into that realm. I've noticed that. It's some beings get destroyed. They try to go into that realm and it destroys them. I can't explain why. Because I tried to see. I was like, okay, you on my ass. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in here and see. And yeah, the being tried to come. It was like Dorothy throwing water on the witch. It destroyed the being. Like, you're not allowed. Jazz not make warriors and bucks. Hitler, I believe, faked his death. Yeah, he was a bunch of Hitlers. I was telling a friend that asked me what I thought about it. And they blew Hitler up at the Wolf's Lair. There's no doubt about that. The dude they brought back was older, because Valkyrie was successful. And Hitler faking, because all of them, all you see in the movie Valkyrie, all of them, and you read the book, all of them was their ass. That shit, they were successful. They had taken over. And then they got a fake Hitler voice to come in there and say it was him. And they brought another cat, but they blew his ass up. They tried to tell you that a table saved him. It blew him up and killed. It killed that Hitler. And then they brought another dude, because the people, again, they did not want to lose their power. They wanted power to the last man. And then they booked and put their doubles in place. It's like what's the pilot ace? The pilot ace that ran the Luftwaffe, that fat fuck. That wasn't him. They put an outfit, his clothes on somebody. They put his clothes on somebody with all the medals and shit. And you know, when this dude walked into the American camp, motherfuckers was taking pictures of him. He had all his medals. He went in there, G. They gave a double. That's why they killed him. They didn't kill him because they didn't make him kill himself because he didn't want to be hung. They knew it was a different dude. They ain't kill Hess. You notice that? They didn't kill Hess, and Hess had to be an agent. Hess had to be an agent. How does your vice chancellor, your vice fueler, just fly into England? He just got so paranoid that he just thought that he could fly in England and save the day. That was an agent. That was an agent. Then they bring him back out supposedly with the shit when they trying the Nazis. They try the Nazis like they didn't know all that shit was going on. They knew. From the beginning, they knew. But a lot of it was propaganda. Because the longer them old generals live, the more stories they'll tell. And they tell about compliance. Sorry. What's your astral projection technique? They had the Bucks in the Super Bowl, then the NBA script Bucks to go to the finals. Interesting. All sports are related. What's hidden in Antarctica? Kind of a hard place to go through, Derek. They have that blocked off. I still think LeBron's set in stone, going 6'6". Dimensionals, pyramids, and dimensional portals are in Antarctica, I believe. Don't believe anything. Experience. I heard portals interesting. I'm gonna answer. I'll answer. What'd you say? What is my astral projection technique? Well, it's interesting, and I'll tell you this: it's not the same all the time. It's not the same all the time. I told about just with my singing bowl. One time I hit my singing bowl and it pushed me out of my body. So just with the tune, because the tune hit and I was able to grab that tune and just pushed out of my body. And so that is part of the astral world, just being out like that, out of your body. Now, if you're saying doing work, it's a good question, because actually trying to do real work and really connect. The thing about the Tsar that I noticed, the more I use those portholes and the more I use those doors, what I found is when you go into that is you have to almost throw your consciousness in it, and you really have to almost catch it like a fish. You really do. It's a kind of thing where you can miss. I've noticed that you can miss. And so I got a little better at seeing that once I realized it. Again, I told the last real experience using the Tsar experience is I was able to possess a lion, because I was just concentrating just the way the lions were moving and stuff. And a lion came within I was in one of them doors, and I was able to throw it out there and catch it, because again, you're kind of catching souls in a way using the Tsar. And so was able to be the lion. So one minute I'm watching the lion, next minute I'm being the lion. Now, answering your other question is, so just meditating, you have to figure that it's a way, there has to be something more than just breathing. That is a big part of it for some. Again, that's not my technique, but there has to be something more than just the breathing. So what happens is you start creating. As I've said before, once you see the golden ratio, looks like a big ass mushroom in a way, like a tree mushroom in some ways. And then you get above that. And at the same time, you raise above all karma. So none of that even matters. You can raise above both of them at the same time. But starting off, it's a good starting off point. Again, you don't want to spin like it spins, it's spinning for you. And you can get caught into that. Again, American gods. Remember when all the gods wanted to meet, they got on the merry-go-round to get into the astral plane where the gods could all talk? Why do you think they showed the merry-go-round? The merry-go-round was the golden ratio. That's what they were trying to show you. So even the gods had to use this technique. And so it's just really closing your mind, because sometimes meditating is good to sort out your problems. Sometimes meditating, you just should have quiet. And when you have that quiet, you start creating. And through creating, as you take each step of your spirituality, go deeper, 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 deeper in it, you start experiencing more that you wander into. And then areas become open to see if you are strong enough to experience it. Again, you can close your eyes and then go through and then be head to head with a giant ass head, like a head big as a building. Or what the Mayan had to do is to face the back. And a lot of the Mayan kings would get killed. They would be dead. Nothing killed them on this level, but they couldn't survive that. And it is seeing things and making things unagreeable, making them agreeable. Not being fooled on the smiling faces like the little cute angel told him. I thought I was the one. You're not. Remember, he never said he wasn't. That thing said he wasn't. And he believed her. He already knew he was. But remember, she said, you're not.
What does it go?
What's my battery like? Oh, I need to plug in.
You're not supposed to use it while it's plugged in.
What brand is that?
Lurking class.
I have no idea about that.
It's going to be the hottest shit this summer. Well, I saw some shit with Mike Tyson on
You
it.
still want this in the freezer? It's from it's solid.
Yeah, I'll probably take it out. That was Natalie's. Thank you. Sorry, my son's asshole. So, yeah, I sleep like that normally, but when I'm trying to project, lying flat on my back usually gets me there. That's interesting. Because some people lying down, they fall asleep. But some people, because I know I can lie on my couch and it helps me. It helps me move through. Alex Caruso. Caruso's the one setting picks on his own players. Chuck Haley. Lakers in 6. That's funny. Can't hear anything. Yeah, I muted it because he was being rude and it was taking him a minute to get done, y'all. He was being rude. So Hugo says, sleeping on my back helps me. I just focus on leaving to a new place. It just happens. Not a bad technique. Not a bad technique if you can stay up. Because that's the problem. A lot of people can't stay up for the consciousness. It's like when they give you anesthesia, you can leave your body then. That's a perfect time to leave your body. Because what they try to do is they try to make the consciousness, all the pain receptors they try to put to sleep. But if you leave your body before all that kicks in, you can watch the surgery on yourself. I remember I told it to my brother. I said, I'm going to watch him do my knee surgery. That's the last thing I said. And I felt it coming in. And as soon as I felt that propel off, that shit about to put you under, whatever the fuck it was, I was able to leave from that shit and watch him do the surgery. Weed can do it too, though. Weed can make you leave your body as well. So, but it's just a comfortable state and getting used to what comes in. And you don't want to go through real fast. A lot of new people, like my ex, she'll tend to just blaze right through it. She's that strong. I think that's why a lot of attacks she had, because spiritually, she's kind of strong. She's not a spiritual person, but when she does spiritual practices, she's very strong with her magic. I'll say that. Because I couldn't put the Verja in my conscious. And she helped push it to me. We was just holding hands with our eyes closed. And she threw it like in one of my windows. She threw the Verja in one of my windows. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, bring it in. But again, you can't judge your experience on anybody. You have to judge your experience just on yourself. Your spirituality shouldn't be compared to anybody else. Like not anybody that ever lived. I have a goodie over here. I forgot about it. Forgot about it. Yeah, baby. This was like about $8. This is Sherry Cast. This is whiskey roll. I'm gonna have to get a humidor. I'll see that now. It'd be cheaper just to get a humidor and buy a bunch of them. Because I'm starting to, like Stonewall Jackson said, starting to like it. Just chewing on them. Kind of a nice presentation. Can't tell you where it's made. Oh, maybe here. Whiskey roll. Cast age. Had to look it up. That tastes nice. What happens when you stay awake for 3 days? Navy SEALs do it. I heard it activated your higher senses. Well, staying awake could be misleading. So are you staying awake and being active for 3 straight days? Or do you still get to eat? Do you still get to shower? I mean, a lot of these ways you can still rest. So, I understand fighting. If you had to go fight somewhere, you could possibly have to go kill for 3 days. I mean, that's not a unusual thing. But it's funny how the government wants to tell you that the Nazis was taking crystal meth. They don't want to admit that the Americans was taking that shit too. They don't want to admit that the Russians and all of them was taking that shit too. But they want to say, well, the Nazis were staying high. That's how they were able to blitzkrieg your ass. When I get injured and broke my wrist, a Percocet had my first outer body experience. Okay, I can see it doing that. They ain't gonna never start. Colts versus Bucks. Wentz ain't putting nobody in the Super Bowl. Y'all know that. Stay off the weed. All right, we ain't gonna be. Come on, Draco. They got on you. I had to get on them yesterday for talking shit. You ain't gotta talk shit. Browns, Bucks. Yeah, well, they eat lightly. Colts ain't doing nothing. Yeah, Colts ain't doing nothing. And it's still the cap hit that the Eagles are still getting ain't going away. That's a bunch of money tied up for him. It was stupid, and it makes you think Leary is stupid. It really does make you think he is stupid. He gave Chip Kelly all that power to get rid of all the good players. Then you fire him at the last few games. Come on, after he done wrecked everything, it makes you see as a script. Why would they give Wentz all that money? He never finished the season. What was last season, the first season he ever finished? So he ain't the answer. I'll say the thing that's going to favor him. This is what will help him. They built, starting with Andrew Luck, when they thought he was going to come back, they started working on their line, and their line has gotten better. I'll say that. The line they had last season was decent for a passing team, with a stiff quarterback that was what was he, 200 years old? Rivers was about 200. Wasn't Rivers in the Revolutionary War or some shit like that? Had him back there wearing the red coat shittings. He's wearing the red coat outfit trying to throw TDs. Had his musket back there and shit. Colts ain't going anywhere. Yeah, they ain't going anywhere. Colts washed up Phillip Rivers, made the playoffs. Well, they did. Because of better offensive line. And let's be honest, Colts didn't have a bad defense. They did not have a bad defense. So they might have a chance. I would say if Wentz doesn't get hurt and they have a good second string, keep what is his name? The New England guy. Keep him too. Yeah, second pick. What a third round pick? No, what was it? A third round pick, wasn't it? And then a second round pick that could be a first round pick. They took the cap hit. And I think they still liable for some of his salary. I think they still are going to be liable for a little bit of his salary. So it was stupid. It's like, owner, Leary, you didn't know? But see, that's what they did to golf. Now they moved on for golf. I mean, a bunch of teams did it. They got them thinking second about Giappolo. All them cats, they got them double thinking about them. Wirtz is a bad, yeah. Mike Vick, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson. Only reason Chip Kelly had a job. Yeah. An injury, yep, he is. They were scripted for Wirtz. Oh, no. They ain't liked him from the start. I thought when he got hurt the first time when they went to the Super Bowl was a fake injury. It didn't look like he got hurt that bad. It wasn't a direct hard blow to his leg. He just got hit low. I thought it was fake, to be honest. I was like, there's no way he got hurt on that play. Well, we'll see if they'll give it to him. Colts got the number 2, number 3 defense. Yeah, I would agree. You think baseball players signed in blood, 14-year? Oh, come on. Definitely, that's in blood. That's in blood. And depending on what state, he was with California, right? Oh, shit, yeah, that's high. Yeah, the Padres, right? Padres gave him that money. Shortstop and third baseman. Padres gave him that money. It was the wrong state to get that kind of money. I don't really got that money in Texas or Florida, where ain't no state tax. I don't think it's a state tax in Minnesota either. I'm not sure, but I don't think it is. Ain't no city tax. You know, some places give you city taxes. And when I always worked in Kalamazoo, Michigan, no city tax. When I worked in Battle Creek, it was a fucking city tax. So I rarely worked in Battle Creek. Rarely. Oh, that's a whole piece. That's kind of cool. I got to take it all off. Whoa. All right. You ever see people smoke cigars and they lick the whole cigar before they light it? Wintertime ain't time to smoke cigars. I don't know. Ever since I watched that dude that was 112 and he smoked 3 cigars a day, I'm like, and he's the second person in my life I read about that. It must be something about these mugs. Tatis was bred for his role. His daddy was a former player. Yep. Wirtz faked it. He had to do with the numbers for the scripting. Colts and old washed up Rivers almost beat the Bills. I would agree. You ever find it fishy that the Morris twins both ended in LA but on different teams? I don't understand why they've got a thing with that. Giannis and his brother are on the same team. The twins that went to Nevada, remember them? They had the 2 twins went to Nevada, both of them about 6'4", 6'5". They're on the same team again. I never understand why they like that. But those 2 brothers that went to Nevada, they are on, I forget what team they're on, but I watched them play one night and I'm like, damn, they both on the same team. I don't know why they do that. Words is a rich man, Sam Darnold. That's funny. PJ, I wonder if you knew James and George Kendall. I wonder if you knew PJ. James Kendall, George. No, I don't know them. I'd have to ask somebody. I didn't know them. Kendalls. That is not a name I'm familiar with, which I am surprised. But I'll say this. I mean, my children might know. I moved out of Battle Creek in 04. I lived down in Plainwell after that, that's where they tried to kill me, was in Plainwell. So, but yeah, so it could be, that's a long time ago. 04 is a long time ago. I don't think masses want to see Brady versus Wentz. These don't care about what the masses want. The Lopez twins. Yeah, the Lopez twins was in Milwaukee, which made no sense. Nobody want to see Wirtz in the Super Bowl. I definitely don't. The Collins brothers in the NBA a while back then. Yeah, one of the Collins brothers still coaches. He coaches Golden State or the Bucks, one or the other. The Super Bowl with the Eagles was the lowest rated Super Bowl in NFL history. Draco, I thought last year's Super Bowl was the lowest rating. So that one was lower than this one, huh? Wow. Well, I thought it was this year. So they've been 17. They've been going down in ratings every year since 17 then. Yeah, the ratings been going bad since 17. And my friend thought that he was going to hit a lick working for Uber and Lyft, and everybody got limos. The people with the limos made the money because all the stars had ordered limos weeks ahead. So none of the Lyft people got work because everybody was limoing back and forth. So somebody was smart. Not true. This past one was with Rex. Not true. This past one was in the Super Bowl 07 with Rex Grossman. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought this past one was the lowest ever. I thought it was the lowest rating. Nick Foles versus Brady wasn't the worst. You tripping? Yeah, I think this past one broke the record of being the lowest rating because it was the NCAA and the NCAA football game was the lowest rating in years, and I thought the Super Bowl was too. Yeah, from Battle Creek. Yeah, they from Battle Creek and said it's called and a gang up there called the Lynch Mob. The Nickel Park. I never heard it called that. But yeah, it's pretty much that. It's pretty much that's where we in that park he's talking about, which is called Claude Evans. What was it? Kendall. That's where we played semi-pro, and yeah, I'll ask my family if they know him because I still have family up there. Ex-wife and my children. Well, yeah, I think my children they go to school in Kalamazoo. Well, my one child graduated, so he's working. He is a teacher. Ohio State through the championship game. Everybody said it was must have been in a coma. Doug Williams was a bad QB, was the first black man to win the Super Bowl. They're not going to let a better one win. Well, Doug suffered from playing in bad teams. When he went to, again, he played in the USFL, and then he ended up with Tampa Bay because they kept his rights. And then he ended up in Washington. So I don't know that the Washington fit his skill. Doug Williams was again stiff quarterback, couldn't move. But that's how Eddie Robinson. That's what Eddie Robinson thought they wanted. James Harris was the same way. I was watching a thing on Joe Gillum. You know, Joe Gillum's daddy was Big John Meredith's offensive coordinator for a long time at Tennessee State, and I actually played games, 2 or 3 games against Big John Meredith. He coached like this. He coached with a big cigar in his mouth, and when we beat him, my coach grabbed his cigar and threw it on the ground and stomped on it. When we finally beat him, that's what he did. He stomped on his cigar. But Joe that played with the Pittsburgh, Joe Gillum, played with the Pittsburgh. He got a Super Bowl ring. They tell the Super Bowl how he sold his Super Bowl ring for cocaine. And he died at 50 of overdose. Joe 747 Adams, name probably most people don't even know about. Bad brother that played there. But again, he got exposed in the Northwest game. He had pressure on him. This dude ran about 15 yards backwards and he the interception. Again, what he was meant to just stand back there. Because that's what they thought the NFL wanted. Yeah, Russell Wilson does have he's not the standard guy. They replace him. That's why my ex-wife family, good people. That's my okay. PJ. When it's time for his team to win, yeah, they're not gonna let Lamar win. I don't think so either. Yeah, Russell Wilson is they setting him up for he gonna be married and had him children, and then the divorce gonna come and she gonna be in his pocket. That's what's gonna play out with them. Then he'll be with some other star. That's a good thing. Draco says he don't think another brother would be quarterback for 5 years. Interesting. When he was gonna get one Super Bowl with them. I could have stomped that cigar and take it out. Oh. Doug Williams was black and played for the natives, so scripted. Good catch, strong discernment, definitely. NFC team got to win Super Bowl 56. I'd say the Packers. Interesting. Kareem sold his rings for a stupid 19 shot. Now, I think Kareem got broke, and to save face, he sold all his rings and all his trophies to save face. And nobody stepped up to help him. You know, but they blackballed Kareem. Understand that. They blackballed Kareem. They didn't let Kareem coach. He went on the reservation and coached some high school children. He stayed behind Phil Jackson. But because the way he treated reporters, the league blackballed him. And it wasn't even how he dealt with the owners and the GMs. It wasn't even that. They blackballed Kareem because the way he treated reporters. Because he was kind of, he didn't trust them. He saw this shit. He didn't trust them. And that's why they didn't let Kareem coach. They held that shit against him. Because if you read the book by Jackie McMillan, I think the Boston Globe writer, she does an excellent book about Magic and Bird. And there's a section where Magic talks about Kareem, says he's ready to kind of do some of these things that Magic did. And he just talks about stuff that Kareem just wouldn't do. It nothing nasty or anything like that, but it was just Kareem wasn't a people person. You either you like shaking hands and you like meeting people, or you aloof. I mean, it's just you're not going to change your personality because you're trying to do a career. And they used that against him, and they blackballed him. I mean, look at all the people Steve Nash jumped over with zero experience. And I've said many times, again, the reason why NBA analysis can jump into coaching because they do the job. Being an NBA analysis, you're doing the scouting, you looking at the offenses, you looking at the trends, the sets. You preparing, and you prepare almost like a coach would prepare. You have to know the players. I mean, so it's not a hard job to go into. Nash didn't do none of that shit. He didn't do any of that. He didn't coach anywhere on any other level. But neither did that man in Golden State. But he was a TV analysis. Remember, he was a TV analysis for a couple years. And what happened? Mark Jackson, with all that godly preaching, people get tired of it. You got to read the crowd. Just because they put you as head nigga in charge don't mean you can God and Jesus them to death. You got to read the crowd. So they got rid of one TV analyst for another. Mark Jackson was on the TV, and so was Kerr. And that's how they replaced him. It was the Eagles, Packers, Bucks. Buccaneers making the Super Bowl again. Just said he'll be back. Rodgers gets 2. That's why he wears 12, because he's supported to get 2 and fire 1. It would make him greater than Fire, but not great as Bar Star. Wow, Ziggy, who you think gonna play quarterback with San Francisco? They talking about not getting Jimmy G. Jimmy G get hurt in the beginning of the season. I'm from the same small town in Northern California as Aaron Rodgers. Okay, Jay. Garoppolo already has 2 rings. I don't think they'll let him pass it. That's funny. Steve Kerr's an MK handler also. I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, he got him in a backup. You still got him, though. This is what's funny is the only time you see cats wearing Super Bowl rings is around the Super Bowl or the playoffs. And like if you was a coach from another team that won the Super Bowl and you go to a new team, you think they want you wearing that Super Bowl ring in their face? It's a trophy. It's only supposed to be worn certain times. Some people wear theirs all the Jimmy Johnson used to wear his all the time. As a coach and everything. Duke's coach, Krzyzewski, he wears one of them. He's wear one of the championship rings. I don't know which one. Mark Jackson wasn't Team Baphomet. That's funny, Derek. Once you sign that contract, you get a date. Athletes or celebrities. Fame comes with a price. It's sad how many people want to be famous. It does. I think as my man was showing with Zach, rapping is a deadly business. To be a rapper, you talking about people don't even, half a hit song. They want to take you out. Gets the handpicked Garoppolo has already won a lot. Bad. What do you feel about Left getting his ass beat? Left flip getting his ass beat. What do you feel about Leaf Up getting his ass? Who is that? I'm not sure what that is. Watson could be going to the 49ers. I don't know how they're going to make them numbers work. It would have to be Garoppolo going for him to make those numbers work. I don't know how they would do it. What do you feel about left flop? I don't know what that is, Jack. Rodgers was a Monarch child for sure. My boy from the Bay Area told me Mark Jackson got fired because of our flaming. Well, you have to look at where the area is. USC and Duke going through shaming rituals. I agree, CJ. I agree. That's all it is. I meant left. Oh, okay. Jimmy won't win because of Brady. Then if it made him lose to the Chiefs just so Brady can come the next season and beat them. That's a good point. Rappers dying left and right. Yeah, they are. It is not a safe profession. I mean, why would somebody go in there and just murder a young man? Like, what was there? Still, they say they caught the people, but under what circumstance did he deserve to be murdered? Wasn't no robbery. You just get shot. They just come in there and shoot you and act like a robbery is an afterthought. And then the excuse is saying that 2 girls, you took a picture, show where you live. Now, I don't know if it's gated or not, but yeah. I think Rodgers wins 56, doesn't get any views. NFL South only has the Bucks, and Super Bowl hangover will affect. Centipede West are all done winning rings. You would be wrong on a prediction. Wilson and Jimmy G are both done. I could see that too. Jimmy G gets hurt too much. Watson to Redskins. They might have the cap money. They just might have the cap money. They ain't hurting in cap money. That might make sense. It might be one of the few could take that hit. One of the few that could take the hit. Ron said he would make Cowboys. Yeah, I saw that. They was talking about that all yesterday. Distraction. LeBron is the bot. Nate Thurman was built like that and taller. Strong discernment. Nate Thurman was built like that and taller. And Nate had to battle Wilt and Russell. He battled them all every 2 years. Oh, good point. Thoughts on Matthew Stafford? Again, he's a stiff cat. He has one of the best releases of all time. But I showed the play where he threw the ball right to JJ. I showed that on the other channel. So he didn't, I mean, he's still in the system. The one time they had to move was the pass interference call against the Cowboys, where he should have been, his team should have been at least in the NFC Championship. And they denied him by not calling the call. And we saw Brady again against the Packers, where it's a game of no calls. They letting everybody hold all game, grab jerseys. Then a couple minutes left in the game, they do a holding call that Brady benefits from. That's not consistent. And the world didn't scream about that. I got that on this channel. The world didn't scream about that Packer game. There was no calls the whole game. Matter of fact, if I catch that again, I'm gonna make a show of that. If they because they brag all the time. They show these games. They show that Packer game again. I want to highlight all the holding that was allowed. Not called. I did a thing where they showed the center from the Bucks clip a dude to help get a first down. Referee right there doesn't make the call. No way you can miss it. And then you got the announcer saying that the center made a good block. Because they think we're stupid. Let's be honest. They think we're stupid. They think that people forgot it was a clip, even though they both noticed it was a clip. But time goes on, and they think, well, people forgot, so now I can say it's a good play. Nate Thurman is daddy, but I read something saying the number 23 is DNA manipulation, which is interesting. Interesting. Kane, you on it? Nate Thurman on a honeycomb brazy. Watching the Redskins, it makes sense. Again, King, if they have the cap money. NFC East teams never go. I never heard that, CJ. I missed something. Rico, you trolling at this point. Nate Thurman is LeBron's daddy. For sure. Why LeBron keeps adding that fake hair to hide how bald he is. Funny thing is he died after LeBron won his ring for the probably so. I think we said that back then when Nate Thurman died. Show the holdings in the NBA championship, you have a 3-hour long video. Wow. They know people are stupid. Yeah, you go there. And people have short memories. What's in front of me lately is not what you've done for me lately. It's what's in front of me lately. I mean, I see all these, and I'll call them black folks, I guess. I don't know what else to call these people. Showing that stupid shit like this thing done landed on another planet. Like, how stupid can you be? I mean, my mother and I go at it because she is totally asleep. Don't mean I don't love her, but she's totally asleep. My one friend that's passed now, she used to always say, my mother's drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, she just hated Trump. And all she can say is he was the dictator. So everybody out there, if Trump was president for 4 more years, how was he going to become a dictator? I mean, how was that going to be achieved? If he was a dictator, he would have never left. And again, he didn't have the shit to do with January 6th. They ain't had shit to do with that. They want killers in there. It'd have been killers up in there. It wouldn't have been no TV coverage. When nothing been destroyed, you'd have just found dead motherfuckers. That is how the imbeciles work. They work in silence. They do not work in front of cameras. Oh, Tom Brady might win 10. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. If Brady goes next year, they'll definitely win, and they're trying to get him with Mickey Mantle. Or excuse me, Yogi Berra, excuse me. They're trying to get him equal to Yogi Berra. Everybody making zombies. Yeah, there's a bunch of movies, zombie movies too. And that's the thing. It's like, do you even want to be around a person that's been exposed to that? There's had that in them. Because that's how the zombie shit passes. Zombie got the shit, and the zombie supposedly bites you like Dracula, which is the same Dracula shit. You notice that? If you get bit by the zombie, you're a zombie. That's that same Dracula shit. That's something they got over on us all. I bet people ain't even noticed that. Get bit by a zombie is Dracula shit, right? It's like they can't think of nothing else to do. Well, if you get bit by a zombie, you turn into a zombie. The zombie, okay, let's break down the science. A vampire bites you, you get the vampire virus, right? I mean, you guys broke that shit down before. If a vampire bites you, you get the virus of vampirism. It is a virus. If a zombie bites you, you get the virus from being a fucking zombie. What's the difference? One, you got a lot more powers. You just got to suck blood. Zombie, what did the cute zombie say? When you eat the brains of another zombie, you get to experience, like when you kill a human and you eat its brains, you get to experience what the human's life was. So it's part of that life that stays with you. But with the vampire bite, you can turn into the vampire. You get all the vampire powers. You can fucking fly. You live forever. You ain't mummy pimping, you can't duck and zoom. I guess the Will Smith movie, they showed the zombies getting a little sophisticated, but the zombies didn't have vampire powers. So bring back the vampires. I'd rather be bit by a vampire than a fucking zombie. Being a zombie don't sound fun. Vampires still get some. Vampire, he wear the pimp cape. And he'd be like looking at her. Vampires be, Bela Lugosi had that look. He was just like, them hoes would be dropping their panties and walking away with him. He just put that look on him. He go in the club and shit. And Bela Lugosi, the vampire, just like, boom. Them hoes don't know what to do. He be telling in his mind, come here, ho, come here, ho. Revelations, it's a script that they're playing it out. All is revealed. It is regarding idols and secrets. Yeah, none of that shit is a secret anymore. It's all out. But mostly percentage of the population is still asleep. The majority is asleep. Don't say percentage, it's the majority, y'all. Jordan could literally come out of retirement and win another ring and people wouldn't question it. Yeah, at 50, they really wouldn't. Hell, people love seeing Mike Tyson and shit. It's some dumbass people watch Mike Tyson box at 50. You really think George Foreman knocked somebody out without it being scripted? You really think that? George Foreman got beat up by Tommy Morrison. Evander Holyfield beat George Foreman up, but he can beat up and knock out Michael Moore. And I don't think when George Foreman won, I don't think he ever defended his title. I think the title was stripped with him within 9 months. You have 8 or 9 months to defend, and I don't think George Foreman ever defended the title. So you see it was all scripted. I never heard that, Dreadhead. Really? Jiggy, I know. So you guys are talking about Kellerman? If his brother got killed, then it was a sacrifice for him to be on TV, baby. Got to consider that. If a brother died, then it was a sacrifice for Kellerman's career. Well, let me get into the divination so I can give back. We are at 13 platoons, 0 cartoons, 8 tunes. We are at 5 Uno, and we are at 2 kin. And 2 kin is ick. And the energy is coming from the north. So again, if you guys are manifesting, you will get a little push from the north. Spirit, breath, wind, cosmic energy, inspiration, vital principles, respiratory system. And that is what they are trying to attack now, is our respiratory system. In this card image, we see a medicine man devoted to the code of Aquato, which we know because of the bird-like mask he is wearing. The bird's beak is a representation of the wind's currents. The plumed serpent in his head tells us that he is meditating on the constellation of the opposites. The man wearing of the feather, the main meaning of the feathered serpent. In his skirt, we can see a single circle signifying the number 1, representing the ultimate oneness. He is seated on a jaguar skin, which represents power and the capacity for spiritual vision. Getting this card is a meaningful invitation to realize that you are always surrounded by the sacred presence of the Great Spirit. Ikato is everywhere all the time. Therefore, we always have the choice of being aware of that, of entering to the state of tenomania, the practice of accepting the divinity within yourself, oneself. This is a card of telling you to do. Make room in your life, in your heart, for the Great Spirit. Give yourself the time and space to practice tenomania. Tenomia translates to having God within oneself and can be understood as a meditative state that leads to the experience of overcoming the false perception of our separation from God. This is not a trivial topic. The separation from Source is at the very basis of our constant state of fear and anguish, living in an ever-changing world. The fundamental experience of separateness sustains all other anguishes about separation from mother or father, from the long lost partners, and so on. We can perceive a significant, extraordinary difference when our ego surrenders, our awareness is lifted by the pure understanding of our personal state of oneness. So some examples of how to get in touch with yourself. Am I treating it as an object to be liked or disliked, honoring the sacred nature? Are you treating your body as something to be liked as disliked? What activities can I do to honor its sacred nature? Reserve time to involve your body with activities to make it feel authentic, where you have wellness. Spend some money on a spiritual cause that is not giving it to TG Jakes, Teflo dollars. Put it on your, that's the thing about buying crystals or cards or whatever you deem as spiritual. Shit, if you could look at somebody selling some bones and it is captive as spiritual, well, I mean, because giving the church and going to church don't make you spiritual. Churches are not a very spiritual place. I blow big stacks. Oh. Dwight Howard got his black. Yeah, they had to sew him up. They had to sew Dwight up. Corey Holcomb talking about it was some young dude that he carried around that blew his back out. Lana has Dwight handcuffing them. Wow. Phil Jackson, very high level Mason as well. Yeah, I see that. I would say that MK Ultra too. I'm pretty sure that Phil was some way Michael Jordan's early handler as well. I wouldn't put that past it as being Michael Jordan's handler. probably was somewhat of Shaq and Kobe's handler too. Dwight been passed around. He stays in them rooms. Yeah, Dwight, they say, likes bending over. LeBron got Dwight's back. I can't be sure. Nicki Minaj sacrificed, and they got a fake ass mugshot that's supposed to be the killer. Wow. Do I think remember the video I made about Steve Kerr. Remember, Steve Kerr's daddy was in Iran. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Steve Kerr's daddy get killed in Iran? Iran or Iraq? So Steve Kerr's daddy was a sacrifice for Steve Kerr's career. Because remember, Steve Kerr had a college career of being hurt. I think his senior year, he played with a big-ass brace on his knee. But that was a sacrifice. And I'll be honest, I was surprised Steve Kerr got drafted. He didn't turn Arizona out his last year. Again, one of them years, he had that big brace on his leg. So I was surprised he made it. But Steve Kerr took the other brothers. Remember, Paxson. Remember, it was John and Jim Paxson. One went to Notre Dame. I can't remember where the other one went. But then Paxson's was brothers. The Paxson that was just got fired from running the Bulls. Remember, Kerr took his place. So he let Paxson win one. They brought in another Paxson. Remember, B.J. Armstrong was pissed because Paxson was starting before him. And B.J. Armstrong was a true point guard. Paxson was the dude just bringing it up. B.J. could create. And Michael Jordan, defended Paxson. If you remember, he talked a little shit because BJ was better. Paxson was a two guard, and they made him the point guard. That's something that Phil did different instead of Mike bringing it up, which Mike did still bring it up. Oh, so remember Dwight Howard entered the NBA as a holy man, God this and God that, and you have multiple kids and baby mamas, and you grabbing your teammates' meat on the bench. Yeah, that was very, very foul looking. Agents too can be handlers. Agreed. Strong discernment. Agreed. Coach Pop is CIA. He definitely is. Let's go a little further. No, Pop is Army intelligence, not CIA. Army intelligence. He is Army intelligence. Stephen A. Smith, Omega. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Does not surprise me. But one thing that Steve Smith got as far as history, he played with Big House. He played under Big House games. So I met Big House a couple times. And Stephen A. Smith actually got to play with Big House from Winston-Salem State that coached, a lot of y'all probably don't even know who Earl Monroe is. But Big House won the Division II with Earl Monroe in 65 or 66. So Winston-Salem won it all. I think the only other coach that won it all was Chaney, John Chaney. Took Champlin State and won Division II. So I think the only two that came from small colleges like that is Big House and Chaney. Chapin State. That's what put Chaney in Temple. He won the championship in Champlin State Division II. What Big House won was the CIAA, same thing, Division II, basically. If relatives start fucking around in pro sports, Hollywood, and then they stay fuck away from them, carry a gun. Hey, Preston, thank you for joining me. Yes, Earl the Pearl. I met Earl several times. That's right. They called him Black Jesus. He was from Philadelphia. Can celebs, athletes have more than one handler or one at a time? Well, what happens is you can get passed off. That's very common to get passed off to somebody else. That's that, and again, that goes into CIA, Army intelligence kind of thing. You get passed off, and I would imagine, like you guys was looking at Kerr, Kerr probably was handled by Jackson as well, and then, but see, like Jerry Buss was Magic's handler. Now I kind of agree with Judah a little bit. And that Jerry Buss could have very well been one of them wizards because Jerry Buss is tied with that Grove shit. So that was Magic's handler. And very, very rarely do you hear such a wizard taking somebody on like that. Like y'all was talking about Dwight Howard getting blowed out. Magic was the opposite. Magic with anybody. Didn't matter. Anybody. That's why it was easy for them to go to Magic and say, hey, can you do this for us? It's a commercial now on the medicine. That medicine Magic take you can get now. The medicine they say. Isn't it mighty funny though? Magic's woman Cookie never got it. He was still screwing her. And then the baby, they had to compromise. See, they made Magic pay twice. Sacrificing you know, and giving that son up might have kept trying to think his other son, Andre, Magic's first son, Andre. I don't even think his last name is Johnson. I think Andre has the mama's last name because Andre has some people in Kalamazoo. But remember, Andre was in a commercial with Magic. He was in a couple commercials with Magic. And so that second son, they've like, we got to have him. And Magic, hey, you make me a millionaire, I don't give a fuck what you do. You make me a billionaire, you can have my children. You know, like Rumpelstiltskin, I think it's Rumpelstiltskin where he came from the child and shit. Remember, he helped some people and came from the child, and they used the Lilith thing. You know, Lilith wouldn't bow to the man, and so she knew God's name or the God's name and was able to, you know. That's why they say that Lilith had the demons. How the fuck she have demons when she knew the motherfucker's name and went up there with his ass? So either the demon story is bullshit because, again, it's trying to kill the divine Sophie. That is all that shit is. They show Sophie that ain't gonna bend down to this motherfucker, this new creature. And unlike Sophie, who created Yabatha, you see. So you know. So how did she have demons too? So did she say, "Fuck it, I don't like being here in heaven, so I'm gonna go down there and start fucking these motherfuckers so I can have demon children"? I mean, how does that make sense? You've got a person enlightened enough to say, if I know this motherfucker's name, I ain't got to be down here with these mugs. I am above them. But then they turn around and say a story that she had the demons. But it doesn't make sense, does it? It can't be both. If she knows God's name, she's supreme. She ain't having no damn demon children because she's not on earth to have the goddamn children. So that's how they try to do the divine feminine. When you find a strong character. I never understood how Cookie never caught anything. Exactly. Because you notice his parents didn't speak at all when they had the ceremony and Kobe's daughter at the Staples. Magic pulls out that trick. What's up, Preston? Yeah. And so Magic, you know, I mean, you see what they've done to his son? And I'm going to say that his son was shot up with stuff. And I know a lot of people disagree, but what happens is that's what they do. They shoot these children up with all these hormones. And Magic and Cookie both agreed. I'm sure Cookie had to have some kind of word in it. I mean, hell, Magic talking about he fucking 8, 9 women and he married to Cookie. How many women stay with that shit? Why didn't she do what Michael Jordan's wife did? She said, give me my 300 million, I'm good. Remember how Mike did it. Mike thought if he fucked married women, that they would never tell. They got just as much to lose as I got to lose. That shows you Michael Jordan had no kind of pimping ability at all. He didn't know how to not be played by motherfuckers. He was a lame. You can see that in a lot of ways that Michael Jordan was a lame. Juanita was a chick sent to him. She was sent to him too. Juanita was sent to Michael. She was going dating them niggas. So don't think she's all innocent. She was sent to him. Same way I watched them send Kirby Puckett's wife. And the way they set him up. He trying to fill a chick up in the bathroom who was going for it. Took him in there. But he married to this chick that he also met in the bar. So he got played. Now Kirby's dead. Yeah, she had a couple children, but she benefited and didn't hit any fastballs. Juanita didn't shoot Nan jumper. She got the second biggest settlement behind Bezos' wife. She got billions. She got 200 to 300 million. I don't know if that tied that she got cut off from Nike. I don't know. if she still gets any of that money. And y'all remember they tried to do Jordan's daughter the same way. Y'all remember that? At first, they was trying to say that Jordan's daughter had did that. And then she fucked around and had a baby and married a dude. So she protected herself. It's like looking at LeBron. Who's going to be the immediate sacrifice? You're already the youngest ain't going to ball. The oldest is not that tall, but he's going to get the opportunity. They showed you in the Gatorade commercial. He's going to go to Duke, and then he's going to be in the league the next year. They're going to do, if Trae Young can make the league, LeBron, they're going to let LeBron's son in the league. Trae Young was one of the most least talented persons I watched go in the league in a long time. He just didn't have the overall body or the real skills. But if any of y'all hoop, if y'all hoop against NBA players for a summer and in the season, you get better. You get better, no doubt. Look at Isaiah. If you can see any old Isaiah tape his freshman year. Next year, he's supposed to go to the Olympics. The Olympics get canceled by Jimmy Carter. Isaiah travels with the NBA, with Magic and them, Mark Aguirre, Jay Vincent, George Gervin, dude I beat up, Kevin Lofner, from Cassopolis, Michigan. Played with Sacramento when they was in Sacramento. He played in Oklahoma when the Kings was in Oklahoma. For the Oklahoma Kings with Nate Archibald. He might have been a little younger. Archibald might have been in Boston by then. What time is it? Because I'm going to have to cut it. I do have a busy day tomorrow. And my lady friend is mad at me. I couldn't make our date today. And I try to be Superman too much. I do. You guys know I stay on here till 2 or 3. One of my friends on here asked me how much sleep I get, and I don't get very much sleep. I really don't. When I get done here, I don't go right to sleep. Like right now, it's almost 2 o'clock. I'm probably not going to go to sleep until 3 or 4. That's how most of my days are. My biggest responsibility is to my daughter. So I'm very leery of traveling during the day, so I can't be there to pick her up. So I tried to do too much today. But my intention was to try to spend some time with my friend. That was my intention. But in reality of how the day played out, things come up. Someone called me that needed my attention, took me an hour on the phone, and timing is everything. And everyone lives in a pretty big city. I mean, the Twin Cities, you can drive an hour away, almost an hour and a half away, and still be in the Twin Cities. It's like 35 some damn counties or some shit like that. It's 3.5 million people. This is a big ass place. I live on the south borders of the Twin City. And so I wasn't able to see her. And it wasn't from lack of wanting to, but it was just poor planning on my part. But things come up. Things come up. And some days I try to do too much. Some days I'll stay on here, just try to give this information out. And I don't ask anything of anybody. I don't ask anybody for likes or comments. I'm thankful that you do, but I don't ask for that. I don't seek that. I give freely. I share my knowing freely. I'm glad I have enthusiastic people that like sports and like my knowing about sports. I'm glad. That makes me joyful that there are like minds out there like me. And as I said, as people forward the work of basket manipulation, it's not one person. I say, don't do this work. No, I applaud the people that can make the work I started look more professional. If you can make money off it, that's great. I don't feel slighted in the least. I've had fun doing this, exposing this. I have fun doing that. So people doing their interpretation of something that I've created, that's okay. Because I don't really own it. This information and my connection to the hero twins is not for me to hoard. I'm trying to make more people realize we're not the Cain and Abels. We fight with our brothers. And it may be just your one friend you fight with, that's okay. Or if you have an army of friends, that's even better. I've been best friends with my best friend for 12 years now. When I met him, his little boy, his oldest, our birthdays are days apart. I think he's the 4th or 5th, somewhere in there in July. So when I met my friend, his little boy just turned 2. Now he's 15, same old age as my daughter. That's how long we've been friends. Our daughters are a couple weeks apart. I mean, really a couple weeks. Our women at the time were both pregnant, weeks apart. Remember when they first came to see my daughter, his wife was like, I can't wait to get rid of this one. Can't wait for this one to come out. I'm done. And so I applaud people that see this, that it has merit and you can make it look better. That gets the point across. I don't own that. So I salute everybody that uses basket manipulation. I salute you. You don't have to worry about me trying to come after you or being mad about it. It's none of that for me. I give freely. And one thing you all have to know is if one person is watching or however many you ever watch, I try to bring it. So I don't need a whole lot of pats on the back. I understand the thing of the likes and stuff, but I don't need that. I thank everybody because on the old channel, it took me almost a year and a half to get as many subscribers that I've gained in 4 weeks. So I applaud everyone that subscribed to me and tries to make this thing come back again. I applaud you all and I thank you and I feel humbled. I mean, I don't try to front of what I'm not. I'm a very humble man. I drive a 2005 Ford Freestyle. There's a tank that'll go through anywhere. My daughter saw me put some CDs in the changer and she's like, well, damn, what kind of stuff is this? She's like, how many of those things can you stick in there? She's like, can you watch a movie off it? I'm like, no, I'd have to buy something, honey. But she's like, oh, those discs just fit in there. I'm like, yeah, they just fit in there. She's like, I wonder if my mom's card does that. I don't know if she can push this in. But she has satellite radio, Dad, so I don't think she needs disc. I'm like, yeah, I don't think she needs anything. But listening to Harold Silverman. And you see my modest place. It ain't, I don't try to front like I'm any. This is silver. I mean, yeah, this is probably worth about probably about $600 in this. It ain't nothing to brag about. It doesn't have a lot of, it ain't many people want this big piece of motivite. Doesn't mean I'm well off. But I have everything I need. What did I hear earlier? Dude said is a key is, and I've heard this, I don't know where I just heard this from, but it's like how many people, oh yeah, Craig Facts. Brother Lou, younger than me, was saying, how many people love you? How many people love you? What you do, are there people that love you because of who you are? And that shows our merit. What is the new way of saying it? I fucks with you. And I thank people that fuck with me because you all are sick. That's the new thing they saying, sick. That's the new little short spell you can put on people. Sick. Again, don't compare your spirituality to anybody. It's in steps. I mean, frick, I'm about to be 60 in June, and it took all this to get where I'm at. And let me say this. This is one thing that you do want to do. Find your sacred ball field or your continuous ball field. Find that. And once you find that, Alzheimer's, dementia, doesn't matter. You'll automatically go there and it'll all come back. But don't let it get to that point. Find that place for you. Because if you hear my voice and you are in America, that is given to you. That is the spiritual place that is given to you. If you've played any ball game, you have a ball in your house right now, that's given to you. And you create it. And you can dare any entity to come up in there. It'll take them a lifetime. And he still won't find you because you created. It'll be your place. And so if this world and these chemicals try to eat your brain away, if you discover that place now, they can, it may take you away from this thing, but you'll be able to step in the proper place. And that is one thing I want people to understand. Because think about it like this. If they try to mass kill each other, you know why they're doing that? They're trying to spread fear. They want people to live in a state of fear. All the shows you watch and the hard times of people is people live in a state of fear. That show on Netflix, Barriers, that's what they have. People living in a state of fear. We have the elites and everybody works for the elites. Now, this immigration thing is interesting because the video I showed, they're bringing a lot of people that are unskilled workers. And what does that do for brothers and sisters that only have high school educations? My mother was trying to tell me there's no one picking the fruit. Black folks don't want to go out there and pick fruit because it was like slavery. No, it was like Reconstruction. During what they call slavery, we owned our own farms. It's Reconstruction that was slavery. So it'd be nothing if you can't get any other job that you would go work. It's bullshit to say brothers and even Europeans won't go to work. And you want to bring all these other people in? If a motherfucker walk from wherever in South America, he's not a highly skilled person. There can only be so many janitors, so many housekeepers, and so many people. They call it chain migration. You know, groups of migrants moving around. Because what the Hispanic people did in Michigan is started taking the low-level factory jobs. That's when I walked into Johnson Control. That's exactly what they did. They were taking them jobs nobody else would do. But they got out of the fields and got into factories. And before you know it, they was the most people in there. Even though the city, they weren't the most. At that point, it was still more black folks than them. But they was taking factories over one at a time. That's some good beer. So I don't say that as not liking anyone, but I'm saying this should be considered. Jobs are hard enough to come by as it is, especially with people without skills. Because that's what they scream at. I mean, what did Trump say, though? Trump was going to try to start hiring people with experience. Wasn't necessarily going on skills. He was trying to get people in with experience. Oh, well. Oh, there it is. Well, everybody, thank you for joining the Chocolate Mountain Show. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this a little short because I do have a very busy morning getting some shit done to my arm. EKG, I think they call it. They're going to test the nerves in my damn arm. Lucky for the public because there ain't too many people I'm going to fire on with my left arm anymore. That used to be my habit, like, pow. But not anymore. So getting that done in the morning, which is they just put little fish hooks in you and test your nerves. So I want to finish with this. Again, this is I call this Jade Z. This is my Jade. Now PNF, if you watching this, you don't ever explain this. And this is no diss to you. See, when you study the people in Americas and even the omen with the heads, they are out of the reptilian brain and they bound their heads to get out of the reptilian brain that we are all in now. And you don't really see this all over the world. You definitely don't see it in Europe or Arabia. You see it a little bit in Africa. You do. But it's not as old practice as it was in America with the omen and the Maya. And this would probably be, I don't know. I can't tell how old this is. There's not a lot of patina on it. I imagine it's about old as me, probably 50, 60 years. If it was dug up, it was broken. So it was repaired, which could have came from a shovel, digging it up. It's a little patina. I don't know. Could have been dropped. It's hard to say. But this is jade, not nephrite. This is actually American jade, which was unknown. Jade was unknown to the Europeans. And I haven't really made this a talisman. I could, but I don't really need it for that. This has taken me to the next phase the way it is. But something like this could easily be turned into a talisman, which could do magic for you. I mean, what do you think? What was it called? Chucky doll. What do you think Chucky really was? Chucky was a talisman. It's the kind of magic they use. Same thing as a voodoo doll. Voodoo doll is a type of talisman, but it don't have to be just negative. Excuse me. Don't have to be revengeful to get back at someone. It can be used how you need to use it to help you push your spirituality. This is good. I mean, this is like perfect. I bet this is considered a lighter. Have to look this one up. I bought this at a different place, not around the corner. I bought this at a different place. Because spirituality is what you make out of it. I mean, all this stuff is just tools. And even getting into these, it's just different tools. Even getting into the cards, it's just tools. It's spiritual tools. And you have to find which ones work for you. Each person has to find their own magic. If you watch me, you got a little bit of hint that you think you have some kind of magical abilities. Each of us have something. Your children have it. Your parents have it. You just have to find what it is. And then you go from there. And you start your journey. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Your own spiritual journey is your own spiritual journey. I don't compare myself to my brother. He does not compare himself to me. Revenge of the ancestors. We have our own specialties. We put our things together at times, but most of the time we find our own way. We compare notes, but we have to go through these doors ourselves. We have to do these experiences. No one else can do them for us. This thing is showing off. I'm not twirling it back and forth. It is doing this damn shit itself. I haven't even asked it a question, but it's feeling the energy. And that's what it basically is. You have to find what amplifies your energy, what puts you to the next state. Well, I am going to have to cut it short. Yes, perfect timing. So, as you know, I always finish with Eshan. So, I'm not a New York rapper or a LA gang banger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. I know I'm never going to go to heaven. That's why all the time in both of my pockets, I carry 357s. This is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am 8Wind. It's timeless. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate it. Till we meet again.